Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio. We know that March is for madness, but it's not just in the hoops world. It's mad in the hockey world, too. We have a champion that has been crowned. We have another champion that will soon be crowned. We've got college hockey to break down and dissect. Zach will have all the details for us on everything that has been going on in the National Collegiate Hockey Tournament this month. And then the NHL, of course, is not far behind at all. Everybody's got about 10 games left in their regular season. So you know there are lots of pushes being made for the playoffs. Who's sitting good? Who's gaining ground? Who's losing ground? We will take a look at that. And we'll see what other silly, wacky, zany things come across our way in the mad world of hockey. You are tuned into the neutral zone. Buckle on up. Do not go anywhere. Let's light the lamp. Let's go crazy. Let's make sure we stay out of the penalty box, though, huh? This is the neutral zone. Let's go. And hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome back in to the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach here with you tonight. We got lots to go through. We're going to be talking NHL. We're going to be talking NCAA. We might even sneak in some National Women's Hockey League talk here tonight. We got lots to get through and only about 55 minutes to do it. So let's not waste any time. Zach, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, fantastic, Adam. How are you?
A lot better than I was last week. I'll put it that way.
Oh, no. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I was, well, we needed a week off apparently. So we'll just put it We'll just put it that way. So
sure. Yeah.
Thank you for holding the fort down solo a couple weeks ago too. It's been a couple weeks since I've been here. Thank you for manning the fort and doing the solo shift. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No worries.
So, before we go any too much further, of course, we do want to let everybody know that this show, like all the shows here on the station, are brought to you very proudly by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, the single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. You can order yours at planetjerky.net. They order free shipping on all orders of $50 and above. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. You can also follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. And we are brought to you also by Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations, and you're looking for that extra special touch. Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend, and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts is for you. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. Follow them on Instagram at SealTheDeal_wax stamps or on Facebook by searching Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And IE Sports Radio has been around now for very nearly 10 years and continues to bring you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and, of course, stop by the shop to check out the merchandise. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And you heard how to follow along with the station there on that read. Of course, the Neutral Zone is available for you on social media as well. You can follow along with the Neutral Zone on Twitter. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. Or you can follow me personally. I am at Adam_Karnick, or Zach is at The Pupless. And without any further ado, now that we've gotten through all that, Zach, give us the lineup. Who is in action tonight? I know it is a busy night across the NHL landscape as we are down to basically 10 games left in the regular season at this point.
Yes, sir. We got about a dozen games going on tonight. We've got Bruins and Panthers tied at 2 in the third. Flyers and Rangers also tied at 2 in the third. That seems to be the trend of the night. Red Wings and Capitals tied at 2 in the third. Penguins lead the Hurricanes 2-1, also in the third. Oh, Rangers just got one. They're up now 3-2 over the Flyers in the third. Devils and Maple Leafs. Devils lead that 4-3 at the end of 2. Preds and Golden Knights. Golden Knights lead that 3-0, just starting in the second. Oilers and Jets, just about 5 minutes into the second period, scoreless. Your Blackhawks lead the Flames 2-0. They just started they're just about done with the first period. My bad. So 2-0 Blackhawks. Good job. And Avalanche lead the Canadiens 1-0. That one just started. They're about 45 seconds into that one. And still to come tonight, we got Blue Jackets and Coyotes at 10 p.m., as well as Ducks and Kraken at 10, and Stars and Sharks at 10:30. How's our Sharks watch? They've been eliminated from the playoffs?
The Sharks are one of 4 teams that at this point have officially been eliminated. 3 of the 4 teams reside in the Western Conference. 2 of those 3 reside in the Pacific Division, the Sharks being one of them. I'm just real quickly, there's much bigger games, obviously, than this one tonight, but the Stars Sharks, I'm looking at the money line here. The Stars are minus 440 favorites to win that game. For those that don't speak betting, that means you would need to bet $44 in order to win $10 if you were to take the Stars tonight. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. That is that would be considered a solid favorite, in other words. The 2 games, though, besides, of course, my Blackhawks that I've got an eye on, the 2 games that I'm keeping my eye on, though, tonight, that Boston-Florida game, whoa, has that suddenly gained importance as we get into the home stretch here. That is for first place in the division right now.
Ooh, okay.
That is currently for the Atlantic Division. Florida and Boston currently both sit at 97 points. Boston has played one more game than Florida, so Florida technically sits atop the Atlantic Division. But that is, if you put any stock into having home ice advantage through at least the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, that is a very important game going on there down in Florida tonight. And then the other one, the Flyers and the Rangers. The Rangers currently sit atop the entire Eastern Conference, but it's a very precarious lead at best. It's a 1-point advantage over both Boston and Florida. The Flyers, meanwhile, are just holding on to a playoff spot by a thread right now with 81 points in the standings. 2 points separate the Flyers from being third in the Metro to being the second wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. So that is a critical game going on out in Madison Square Garden right now. So lots of good games going on. Obviously, Red Wings Capitals has a lot of playoff implications behind it. Golden Knights Predators is incredibly important for the Golden Knights. They are currently holding on to the final wild card spot in the West. But those are the two games that I am looking at most closely as we're getting into this stretch run. What's got your attention tonight?
Yeah, definitely Red Wings and Caps, of course. Homer interest, but also because they're right on the edge of the wild card. The Red Wings had been in that last spot for the last couple weeks, and it looks like they've been overtaken by the Capitals. They're 1 point behind right now for that last wild card slot.
Yeah, if the Red Wings come from behind and win this one, though, then they jump Washington. That's a real simple, easy path right there.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm with you. Like Nashville and Vegas, they're both in wild card slots right now in the West, with Nashville with 88 points and Vegas with 85. So that's, if Vegas can get a couple more, they could get a little better seeding.
And if nothing else, give themselves a little bit of breathing room. I mean, the Western Conference feels a little more concrete right now, just vaguely safer. You've got a 5-point spread between Vegas and St. Louis for that final playoff spot, as opposed to in the East, 5 points will put you from the last wild card to 3 teams out of the wild card. It's a lot tighter in the East right now. The West is a little more spread out. So Vegas, you get those 2 points and you can kind of even give yourself even just that little bit more cushion and make yourself feel as comfortable as you can heading into this home stretch. St. Louis has the night off, so if you're Vegas, you win this one and you're going to have 7 points separating you and being out of the playoffs. So you've got to feel good there.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other games for you tonight that's got you, or are those the ones for you?
Pretty much those two in particular. Let me go look again here. If it wants to load. Well, we wanted to talk playoff picture anyways, so it just loaded. Go figure. Devils and Maple Leafs looks like it's a nice close game, and kind of a barn burner.
Yes. Yeah. 4-3 at the end of 2.
Yeah. Canadiens and Avalanche, isn't that a Stanley Cup rematch from the bubble season, or the one after the bubble season with the Canadian division?
I'd have to look. I don't know that they played each other, but they were both involved in cups recently, if nothing else. I'd have to double check if that was actually a finals matchup or not.
Or maybe it was Western Conference Finals, but because there was the talk about which trophy would they get, because it technically wasn't the Western Conference.
Right. Yep. Jen B has jumped into the chat room this evening. Good evening, Jen. Jen, of course, the host of the Show of the Land. The Columbus Blue Jackets are the one team in the East that has been eliminated at this point from playoff contention. The Blue Jackets currently sitting with just 58 points through 71 games on the season. They are the one Eastern Conference team knocked out, but I think Montreal and Ottawa will probably be joining them sooner rather than later at that point. They're both with 64 points and only a dozen games left to go on their slates, so it's not going to take a whole lot more to knock those two teams out.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference, though, it certainly feels like the far more interesting of the two conferences at this point. You've got so much at the top there. Looking at it from we'll look at it more from a division standpoint too, but zooming out, looking at it from a conference standpoint, New York, Florida, Carolina, and Boston are all separated by 1 point and none of them have any more than 11 games left to go. The Rangers and the Panthers have 11. The Hurricanes and the Bruins only have 10 left to go. And, of course, the Rangers, the Panthers, and the Bruins are all in action tonight. So you effectively chop one off of that. So it's Carolina. Carolina has 10 left. Boston will have 9, and Florida and New York will both have 10 left after tonight as well. So getting very close and very, very tight there.
For sure, yeah. I got an answer to our question about a Stanley Cup rematch.
Okay.
They didn't play each other. I think they played each other in the conference final because the year they were in the bubble, it was Lightning and Stars, and then the year after was Lightning and Canadiens. Lightning won that one. The following year, it was the Avalanche beating the Lightning.
So yes, it was. They were both very recent Cup finalists, but not. They did not face each other. Yeah, because the Canadiens, that was the All Canada Division year, and Montreal kind of came out of nowhere at the last second to clinch that.
Yep.
Yep, that was interesting times. Interesting times in a pandemic, if nothing else. Very, very interesting times to be had there. Looking over at the Western Conference right now, though, you do have a little bit of contention at the top. You have Vancouver. It's still Vancouver. Where in the heck have they come from? The Canucks, the Avalanche, and the Stars are all just separated by a point. But then you've got Winnipeg, but then a little bit of a drop-off. Edmonton has come crashing back down to earth here right now. With 88 points, they are currently second in the Pacific and well behind Vancouver. Nobody has officially clinched a playoff spot yet, but Vancouver is very close to clinching the Pacific Division with a 10-point lead in front of Edmonton. And now Edmonton's got 13 games left to go, which I think is contributing to why they've slowed up, too. They've started to basically have to play every other night. They don't get very many nights off anymore. They don't get long stretches off anymore. But we should see that division get decided sooner rather than later, I think. And then Vegas, back down into the final wild card spot. Is there anybody looking at the playoff picture right now? So we'll set the picture for everybody in case you're not seeing it. We'll start in the Western Conference. In the Central Division, Colorado and Dallas are currently 1 and 2, though they have the same number of points. And then Winnipeg is in third. In the Pacific, you have Vancouver, Edmonton, and the Kings. And then the two wild cards are Nashville and Vegas. And then you've got a little bit of a gap. St. Louis is 5 points behind Vegas. Minnesota is 8 points back of Vegas. Calgary 14 points back, and it keeps trickling down from there. So let's stay in the Western Conference for a second. Anybody jump out at you from what I just read off there, Zach?
I'm still shocked about Vancouver. I think just their come from nowhere performance this year to get the number 1 seed in the Pacific at the moment.
Yeah, and not only the number 1 in the Pacific, they would be the top team in the West, right? They are currently tied with the Rangers for the President's Trophy.
Right.
That's
wild.
They're the tied for the top team in the entire league.
Yeah. definitely coming out of left field on that one.
Yeah, did not see that one coming. So I would absolutely agree with you on that one. Anybody? Are you concerned for anybody in the West as we're sitting here with just basically 10 games left in the regular season?
Well, to go back to your previous question as well, I would say St. Louis and Minnesota. I mean, they've been perennial. Both of them have been perennial playoff teams the last decade practically. So I mean, they're right there. They're on the cusp. They just need a few more wins of their last 10 games or so. And then I would probably be concerned for Seattle. I mean, they're sitting at 69, and I think that they would be backsliding a little bit from the progress they made last year, making the playoffs and beating the defending champs.
Yeah, they have definitely the Kraken have definitely cooled off and regressed this season. That hurts. That definitely hurts for them. They're out. That's just too much ground to try to make up in not enough time. When you're talking that they are what math? They are 16 points out right now of a playoff spot, and they'd have to jump 4 teams in order to do it. To me, that's just too much. That's just too much to try to do in only a couple of weeks. So I think the Kraken are at this point out. Now let's go over to the East, where it is a nowhere near as clean of a picture. In the Metro, you have right now Rangers, Hurricanes, Flyers as the top 3. Then in the Atlantic, you have Florida and Boston tied effectively, and then the Maple Leafs a fair distance behind them for third. The wild card as we sit here right now is Tampa Bay and Washington. But then Detroit is only a point behind Washington. The Islanders are only 4 points back. The Devils are just 5 points back. The Sabres are 6 points back. And Pittsburgh is 9 points back. You've got so many teams, it feels like, in the East that are still alive. I mean, Tampa, I could see Tampa still jumping Toronto for third in the Atlantic. They're only 4 points back of missing the wild card altogether and jumping into the third spot. And in the Metro, Washington's only 2 points back of third. The Islanders are only 6 points back. The Devils are 7 points back. It feels like it still could be just about anybody's game out east. Who are you liking right now out east?
Well, other than the Red Wings, of course.
Other than Red Wings, of course. Yeah, I know that you've got the Red Wings overcoming this and finding their way into the playoffs. And then the octopi shall fly.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to say this when we've won how many cups, but got to root for the underdog, right?
Yeah. And meanwhile, all the octopi everywhere are hoping that Detroit gets eliminated.
Yeah, right. They're running and hiding like
no,
Thanksgiving.
No, I don't want to be thrown onto the ice. I was warned about this.
Right. Yeah, I'm impressed with Philadelphia. I think John Tortorella has done a really good job, minus his little suspension he had. But I mean, he's been such a veteran coach. I feel like it was probably only a matter of time before he brought success to Philly or back to Philly as well. Carolina's been really good for a while. Yeah.
And speaking of Philly refusing to quit, they have tied that game in New York. It is 4-4.
Ooh, nice. Well, it's wild that you look at this. You got the 2 Atlantic leaders tied for the lead. You got the 2 Central leaders tied for the lead, and all 4 of them are at 97 points.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is amazing all the how close some of these teams are to each other.
Well, plus Carolina's at 97, and not only that, but then all of them are behind Vancouver and the Rangers.
Right.
Go figure.
Yep.
I'm in terms of the ones I'm worried about, I would say Pittsburgh. I mean, they've been again a perennial playoff team. They won multiple cups in the last decade plus. And they're sitting at 70 right now. So
yeah, they're sitting at 70, and they've got 5 teams that they'd have to jump. It's almost not. It's not even so much the points. It's how many teams are in between them and the playoffs.
Well, it's basically looking like the same scenario like Seattle with the 69 points. Yeah, I think that's going to be too high a hurdle for them to overcome.
Yeah, where it's just a lot that has to be done there in a very short amount of time. I'm nervous about Boston. Not that Boston. Not that I think that the Bruins are going to miss the playoffs, but they got off to such a fast start. They were playing so well, and it all of a sudden seems like the engine's gone out on them. The Panthers have caught up to them. Toronto, Boston's probably not going to finish any lower than second in the division.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, I don't know if you want to be playing Austin Matthews and the Maple Leafs in the first round. Now that the Maple Leafs have figured out how to win in the first round, I don't know that I'd want to. If I'm Boston, I don't know that I feel good going into that first round matchup. If you're facing the Maple Leafs, I'd almost rather Tampa catch them, and you wind up taking on you wind up taking on somebody else. That you wind up taking on the Bolts instead of the Maple Leafs in that first round. I am nervous about Boston. I think they're in, but I would not be surprised if they make another first round exit and there is anger, confusion, and frustration coming out of Beantown here in about a month's time.
Well, yeah, especially with the way that they were leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else last year in the regular season. They got the number 1 seed, and then they blew that one. So, yeah, now for this to be slip sliding away from them, I hear you.
Yeah, as well as slip sliding away, and just the way they've gotten caught, by everybody in the standings, and they've played back down to it. It's just they're not playing their best hockey at the best time, and that will absolutely get you in trouble. Let's we pull up Boston's. You look at some of these losses that they've had recently. 5-1 against the Islanders earlier this month. 5-1 against the Blues. They lost to the Rangers 5-2. They've given up. They lost to the Flyers again 3-2 just this past weekend. They have not been playing their best hockey. They're giving up a lot of goals. I am very nervous for Boston right now at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
And you look at their final 7, as tonight's their last game. This is their final game no, it's not the final game in the month of March. I take that back. They've got 2 more. They've got 2 more this month. They take on the Lightning and the Capitals. Those are going to be huge games for both of those teams for playoff seeding. And then Predators, Hurricanes, Panthers again, Hurricanes again. They play the Capitals. They've really only got 2 more games against teams that will probably be dead by the time they play them. So they've got a lot of tough games remaining on the schedule too. So this could be a rough finish for the Bruins.
Yeah. Like we were talking about, which could equate to another first round exit, just like last year.
Yeah. Yep. So definitely something to be keeping an eye on, though it is tied now down in Florida. The Bruins did just score. So Frederick got his 18th of the season. So we are tied down there in, is it technically Homewood, Florida? It's one of the
Sunshine or something.
It's one of the suburbs of Miami, but they don't want to call it Miami for reasons, probably tax related.
Yeah. I think they call it Sunshine, Florida, or something.
Sunshine, something like that. As if there's places in Florida that don't.
Right? Yeah, Sunshine State and all.
All right. Well, that was a lot of NHL there for the first half. Let's take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, Zach, I know you have been incredibly excited about everything going on in the college world of hockey. Get us caught up on everything happening there. This is the Neutral Zone. He is Zach. I am Adam. We will take ourselves a quick break, and then March Madness isn't just for basketball. It's for hockey, too. We will break it down next.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pulp culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Back here with Adam and Zach. We've talked some NHL first half of the show. Now we're going to get into the NCAA hockey. The Frozen Four NCAA tournament bracket was announced just this past Sunday. They had 6 conference champs make it in, plus 10 at-larges. Your number 1 seeds are Boston College, Boston U, Denver, and my boys, Michigan State. The 4 different regionals are taking place in Maryland Heights, Missouri, Providence, Rhode Island, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Springfield, Massachusetts. So let's see here. The games start on Friday for the first round, Thursday for the first round, and continue to Friday, followed by second round action Saturday and Sunday. And the semifinals, aka the Frozen Four, take place in St. Paul, Minnesota. That'll be on April 11th, with the championship on April 13th, also in St. Paul. Your brackets are as follows. Boston College and Michigan Tech play each other. Wisconsin and Quinnipiac, the defending champs. Michigan State and Western Michigan. North Dakota and Michigan. Denver will be playing Massachusetts. Maine playing Cornell. Boston U playing Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT. And Minnesota and Omaha. So the biggest parts that stand out to me, Adam, the almost all Michigan regional.
Yeah. What the hell? What? It's amazing how it doesn't matter what tournament they're filling out, the NCAA selection committee finds a way to bollocks it up.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You had a chance. You had one job.
Exactly.
That if Michigan Tech, Michigan State, and Western Michigan were all going to be in this tournament, put them all in the same regional, for God's sake.
They came so close, too. Sparty, Western, and Michigan are all in the Missouri regional, which Man, that's a heck of a way to have to go. But okay, sure.
Yeah.
You know, you do what you got to do. But then Michigan Tech has to go out to Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Well, and I'm with you. They should have had all four in the same regional and then played it at the dojo, if you will. Little Caesars Arena.
Little Caesars Arena. Just opportunity. Now the arena. Okay, you pick the regions a year in advance, so okay, you got to actually have time to plan and organize that. You can't just reset that at the drop of a hat. But
yeah,
still,
you wouldn't know.
Still. We
Yeah.
were so close to the all-Michigan region, which would have meant we would have been guaranteed a team from Michigan into the Frozen Four.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, they can't necessarily change the regions, but they could have easily, come on, selection committee, you could have put Michigan Tech in there too. Why not?
No kidding.
Which I think... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to go on previewing it, so no, go ahead.
Well, I think that was what they used to call the Great Lakes Invitational. During the season, they would have a little 2-game tournament, or I guess 3-game tournament in Detroit, and it would be all the Michigan schools playing each other, Western and Michigan State and Michigan Tech. Let's see. The 2022 one was Ferris State, Michigan Tech, and Western Michigan. And that was in Van Andel and Grand Rapids where the Griffins play.
I was going to say Ferris State had a pretty strong hockey program for a while there. So
they did, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm like, come on, guys, really? You couldn't have just had a whole Michigan regional? That would have been amazing.
It absolutely would have. Well, an opportunity lost.
Missed opportunity for sure.
Missed opportunity. Well, take us through these regions, Zach. Who do you like? Pick a winner from each region for me. Let's start up in Springfield, Massachusetts. This is the Denver UMass and on one side, and then Maine Cornell on the other side. Who do you see coming out of that one?
Oh, let's see. Probably most likely Denver, but Maine has all the special place in my heart since a childhood vacation there when I was 8. So that would be my next pick.
Okay, all right. And then let's head over to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This one we have the 1 seed Boston University taking on Rhode Island Institute of Technology, and then the 2 seed Minnesota taking on Omaha. Who do you have coming out of that one?
Oh, you got to go chalk with that one. Boston U.
Yes, Boston U. Oh my goodness, they have been so strong all season. And then going over to Rhode Island, Providence, this is where Boston College is taking on Michigan Tech as the 1-4, then Wisconsin and Quinnipiac in the 2-3. What do you see there?
Man, again, Boston College and Boston U have been so strong all season.
I agree. It's very boring. But, I don't know how in the world you could pick anybody other than the Boston teams, because we have a university and a college, to come out of their regions. So, 3 1 seeds, I don't disagree. Now, this one, be honest here, Zach. Maryland Heights, take off the green for a second.
Real quick. So, but if Boston College didn't make it out of the Providence one, I would say it'd be Quinnipiac being the defending champs.
All right. I'm okay with that. And then in the Maryland Heights, we have Michigan State versus Western as the 1-4, and then North Dakota versus Michigan in the 2-3.
Well, I mean, I could take off the green goggles, but I'm going to give you the same answer.
Yeah. So you see all 4 1 seeds advancing to the Frozen Four.
Yeah, I mean, not going on a limb very much here, but yeah, I think these teams have been leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else this year. Plus, I mean, I think Michigan State and Michigan in that regional final to get to the final or the Frozen Four. I mean, I think, what did it say? It would be the 5th time they've played each other this year, and other than the first meeting at home, Michigan State's won all 4, so they're 4-1 against Michigan this season. Or well, this would be 5th, so they're they're sort of 3-1, I guess.
And then I'm gonna go not chalk, just if for no other reason, simply to mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
I'm going to actually go Michigan out of that one.
Okay.
They score very well. They can go on a little bit of a heater and find their way in the Frozen Four. Once we get there, though, what do you see happening once we actually get to the Frozen Four?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm hoping history repeats itself from the 2006-2007 season, and Boston College and MSU make it to the final. MSU wins.
All right. I cannot get away. I think we're going to see Boston College versus Boston U. Boston College has just been so good.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
this year,
they're like
but
5-6 wins ahead of everybody else.
Right? Yeah, I don't see anybody topping Boston College. I think the Eagles come away with this one when all is said and done.
Who did you have out of your Springfield regional?
I took the ones all except for Missouri.
Gotcha.
So the Springfield would be Denver.
Denver, yep, gotcha. Yeah, again, just I feel like missed opportunity where they should have had Michigan Tech in there with all the Michigan schools.
Yes.
Yeah, and then my other complaint, I guess, is that for the Maryland regional, well, Michigan State's the 1 seed in that regional, and they get the game that's at 5:00 in the afternoon, and but Michigan gets the 8:30 game. Like, come on, guys. I mean, okay, we're gonna go do it off of brand names, I'm sure, but like, hey, we got the 1 seed. We should get the better time slot. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's how that goes. Over on the women's side, though, we have a champion already, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Real quick, I was just going to say that a quarter of the field is Big Ten teams. I mean, Minnesota made the final game last year. So Minnesota, Michigan State, Michigan, and Wisconsin all made the tournament, and that's over half of the whole Big Ten conference in hockey. The only ones that got left out would have been Penn State, Ohio State, and Notre Dame.
So yeah, very impressive showing from the Notre Dame. We also should say, we both missed this opportunity that Peyton Manning's favorite school made it into the field of 16. So we should give them some props.
Boo! Omaha!
Omaha!
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's their first time in 4 years. We should give them a little bit of love.
Well, yeah, of course. But yes, the women's side, they made it to the Frozen Four. It was Wisconsin on one side and Ohio State on the other side winning those matchups. So it was a repeat of last year's final, Wisconsin versus Ohio State, all Big Ten final 2 years in a row. And last year, Wisconsin won. Well, this year, Ohio State won it. And Ohio State actually won 2 years ago. So Ohio State now has won 2 of the last 3 women's Frozen Fours.
So yeah, a very strong showing from the Ohio State women this year. So congratulations to them. But again, an all Big Ten final in there. That's the Big Ten. Hockey doesn't get enough love all the way around, but the argument is always, is the Big Ten a basketball or a football conference? It is a hockey conference, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The story. The Big Ten is definitely a hockey conference.
Yeah. For the women's side, the Buckeyes beat number 4 Clarkston 4-1 in Friday's first semifinal, and the Badgers edged number 3 Colgate 3-1 in the nightcap. They were again the last team standing last season, where the Badgers beat the Buckeyes 1-0 for the national title. They've combined to win the past 4 NCAA tournaments, with the Badgers taking the title in 23 and 21 and 2019, with the Buckeyes winning it all in 22 and now 24. tournament was not held in 2020, obvious reasons.
Right. The less we speak about that year, the better.
Yeah. So, and then the final, number 1 seed Ohio State down number 2 Wisconsin 1-0 in the NCAA hockey regional title game. And when they said Durham, I'm like, wait, that's like North Carolina. Nope, New Hampshire. There we go. That makes more sense.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, capture, like we said, every single one of those programs in the tournament is from north of Mason-Dixon.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things. If you're one of those people that just can't stand Duke, boy, if we got a tournament for you, they don't ever show up here.
No Duke, no Alabama. Oh wow! Hey, if you thought Boston College was good, winning 31 games this year, the women's Buckeye hockey team, they were 34-4-0 this season. Wow.
Yes, they were, and a lot of those games were just flat out not close. They were just flat out not competitive.
Ooh. Well, and Wisconsin was 35-5-0.
So yeah, definitely the cream rose all the way to the top there with the women getting in, and you look at some of these scores too. Ohio State, some of the scores from some of the finals. Ohio State advanced over Minnesota Duluth in its first game, 9-0 in the semifinals. Then beat Clarkston 4-1. Just not super competitive games. And as Jen is pointing out in the chat room, one of their top players, Joy Dunn, she's a freshman. So it's not like the program's going to be seeing any kind of a noticeable dip anytime here soon either. They're going to continue to be strong.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about Michigan State's goalie this year. He's just a freshman. And they won the Big Ten regular season title plus the Big Ten tournament title. Oh my God, what a game that was. They won 5-4 over Michigan in overtime.
Yeah, you were. I knew something big was going on when all of a sudden I got about 7 texts from Zach in the span of 10 seconds. It was, something big just happened. I bet it has to do with Sparty hockey. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, well, and that's just it again. Like the committee screwed up by putting Michigan Tech in the bracket without the other Michigan schools, but I think they knew what they were doing, putting Michigan and Michigan State in the same bracket because this will be juicy. This will get good TV ratings. Like,
oh yes,
a fifth matchup this year. Like, yeah,
absolutely. It doesn't matter what sport they're playing. Sparty Michigan is usually well worth tracking and well worth watching there. So
yeah.
But congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes for winning the championship. We can't say back-to-back, unfortunately, but 2 in 3 years is still incredibly impressive. So well done by the Ohio State Buckeyes in that one, winning 1-0 in the championship. So the championship game was competitive, but also Ohio State, Wisconsin were just so strong all season long. You knew that was going to be a very, very competitive matchup all the way around.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get out of here tonight, also a congratulations goes out to Braden Point, who had 3 goals and 3 assists as the Tampa Bay Lightning rallied to beat the Metropolitan Division leading New York Rangers 6-3 back on the 14th. He tied a team record with 6 points versus the Rangers that night.
It was a good night to be a point. I tell you what. and also we want to give a belated congratulations also to the NHL and the Pittsburgh Penguins. They found the missing bobblehead dolls. They were supposed to have a Jaromir Jagr bobblehead night a couple of weeks ago, and apparently they got stolen. They found the missing shipment of bobblehead dolls. a special cargo recovery team negotiated the return of the stolen property to a secure warehouse in Ontario, California. This is according to Pittsburgh Penguins president of business operations, Kevin Acklin.
And according to Acklin, again, another chapter in the storied history of the Penguins. Stay tuned for details on a movie deal with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
My favorite part of that whole ridiculous story was as soon as it was announced, Gritty immediately claimed responsibility for it.
Right. Love it. Oh,
that was the best.
Yeah, right. Van Damme's 95 action film Sudden Death took place inside the team's former arena during a Penguins playoff game. I had no idea.
Well, there we go. It's all full circle.
Well, I was trying to set you up. I was trying to make it a good segue because we're talking about how the Pittsburgh Penguins might not make the playoffs. And I was like, this would be a perfect segue if Adam wants to cut to commercial and come back and we'll talk about the bobbleheads.
I missed it. It was a beautiful pass, and I just whipped completely on the one-timer.
It was a psychic memo, and I was hoping
we'll keep practicing. That does it for our show here tonight. We hope you guys had fun with it. We had fun making it. We hope you had fun listening. Shout out and thank you again to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Find them at planetjerky.net, and to Seal the Deal Wax Seals with Cecilia B. Find them on Instagram at Seal the Deal Wax Seals, or also Facebook by searching Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Thank you also to Larry B., the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio. Thank you, sir. You are always hard at work behind the scenes. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Thank you to both Jen B. and Taryn Rodriguez for hanging out in the chat room with us tonight, keeping us occupied, keeping us on our toes, making sure that we're staying honest while we do this show. We appreciate that. And yes, Taryn B., ducks are unfortunately sad. Coming up right after us tonight, it is Cale Henderson and Sioux City Sports talking all things Las Vegas. The Golden Knights are having themselves a good night overall. Will they be able to hold on to that bottom wild card spot? Will they move up at all in the standings? I'm sure that Cale will have a full breakdown and recap and thoughts and analysis on all going on there with the Golden Knights. For Zach Pupless, I am Adam Karnick. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. Thank you for being here and listening to us. Whether it was live here on Tuesday night or you caught the replay on YouTube, Spreaker, Podcast Addict, wherever it was, thank you for being here and being part of the show this week. We really do appreciate it. Next week, we will be one step closer to the playoffs. We'll let you know what we think. Until then, be safe, light the lamp, stay on the penny box. We'll see you next time.